Over 900,000 animals are said to be vaccinated for livestock foot and mouth disease this week, as the Agriculture Department tries to contain the spread of the disease in parts of the country. Now, in the past few months, farmers, particularly in KwaZulu-Natal, have reported the highest number of infections. For more on this, let's speak to the province's Agriculture Union, Angus Williamson. Thanks very much for joining us. It's great to have you with us on the program. And why is it that KZN has really been at the center of this outbreak?
Sorry, it's a bit quiet there. It's a bit noisy. We've got a huge windstorm at the moment. We've got huge winds here. Yeah.
Can you hear me now, Angus?
Yes, that's better, yeah.
Okay. Why is it that your province has been at the center of this outbreak?
I think if you look back to 2019, we had an outbreak there in the Matuba area of foot and mouth. And I think since then we've had a few other outbreaks. Obviously, there have been other outbreaks around the country. But then again, in February this year, there was another outbreak in the Newcastle area. So we've been struggling with foot and mouth for the last 5 years. So we're very much under the spotlight.
And your organization, Kwanalu, you've been trying to raise the alarm about this issue for some time. You're saying you've been struggling with this for 5 years. What's government's response been during that period?
I think we've been in communication with government ever since 2019 when the outbreak happened. I think the big challenge for us is the movement of livestock, the illegal movement of livestock. And you've got to understand that livestock is moved because the producers don't have an outlet to sell livestock. And that has been a challenge for us within the DMA right since 2019. So that is a huge challenge, illegal movement of livestock, and on the other hand, not having an outlet to actually sell that livestock, which is a huge challenge. I think the biggest danger with regards to the spreading of foot and mouth is the movement of livestock, and that's gone unabated since 2019. And I think by and large, that's been the biggest spreader of foot and mouth.
Am I correct in saying, Angus, that the particular difficulty with livestock foot and mouth disease is that the symptoms are not always visible? Is that true?
That is correct. So your incubation period will be between 12 and 14 days. So it's like us having flu. You might not have flu symptoms today, but by Sunday you've got the flu. So, you know, if cattle are inspected, let's say today at a sale yard, they might be in the incubation period, and that might only come out in 7 or 8 days' time. So that is a big challenge for us. So they might not show signs, but as I say, in a couple of days, those signs do come out. Right,
and that's why the Agriculture Minister, as you just mentioned earlier, he's decided that Gauteng and KwaZulu-Natal cannot buy cows. The two provinces obviously identified as hotspots for foot and mouth disease. And you've already explained to us the danger of moving animals in the midst of an outbreak like this. So what does that mean for farmers and the sale of their animals? Can an animal recover from livestock foot and mouth disease?
Yes, so within the animal will show have lesions on the feet in between the cloves, and then it will have lesions on the tongue or around the lips or the mouth. That's why it's called foot and mouth. It'll be painful, and they might reduce the amount of food that they eat over 2 or 3 days, but they do recover. Animals do not die from foot and mouth. Basically, that disease is passed on. It originates from buffalo, and then is passed on to mostly cattle. Sheep and goats, we've never had any issues with sheep and goats, but it's only cattle.
Right.
And game, obviously.
Right. So members of the public warned not to buy cows in KZN and Gauteng. Has that had a major impact on your farmers and their ability to have an income?
Okay, so here's the challenge. We've got the DMA, which is basically 4.2 million hectares. It spreads from the Mozambique-Swaziland border right down to Stanger on the coast, and then up through towards Greytown, up through to get a ferry up towards Dundee, and then all the way to Newcastle, and then back through Vryheid. And so that is the DMA. That's where the disease is prevalent. The biggest challenge for us is producers are at harvest time. Beef producers are now selling their weaner calves to feedlots the likes of carrion beef. And this is the time of the year where we catch up on debt, where we settle our overdrafts, where we pay co-op debt, et cetera, and producers are stymied and hamstrung at the moment with regards to the selling. There's a 106-point risk assessment that you have to do, and we do understand that. But it is very time consuming, and it is a challenge for most farmers to do that. So our farmers are in huge financial crisis at the moment.
Yeah,
if you go for 2 months without income, now it's going on 3 months. It does become a huge challenge. We basically cash strapped in that area. It doesn't. It's only 40% of KwaZulu-Natal, so the rest of KZN is fine. But just within that DMA, there's a huge challenge with regards to the movement of livestock. And so we've appealed to government to assist with regards to a disaster area. And in that way, we'll be able to get SANDF troops on the ground, more SAPS, members, to be able to assist us with roadblocks and to be able to basically reduce the amount of illegal movement of livestock. And that's how it's spread to the other provinces. It's livestock that's moved. And you've got to understand from the producer's point of view, if somebody in the emerging sector has 2 animals to sell and they live off that income for 2 months or whatever the case is, if they don't have an outlet to be able to sell that livestock, they're going to move it. And that's why, livestock has moved to other provinces. It's through desperation.
Yeah.
I've always said, the regulations out there are making innocent people into criminals, and not wanting to, but if that is your only source of income, you are going to find a way to be able to sell that livestock. And the controls are not in place. The control measures are not in place with regards to the illegal movement of livestock within the province and the country, to be quite honest with you. Biosecurity, you can have all the biosecurity in the world, as we've seen in carrion beef, but foot and mouth will still get there. And by and large, it has been the movement of livestock. That is the biggest challenge.
Yeah, well, certainly. You're absolutely right. It's out of desperation. But unfortunately, moving animals that are potentially infected obviously poses a risk to the entire industry. Is your organization still calling for a state of disaster to be declared?
I believe Kwanalu, as well as KZN RPO, by and large, we are asking for a disaster. We do need resources to be brought into KZN. We've been asking this since 2019, basically, and yeah, it does. We are desperate. Our producers are desperate. So it's not that we asking for too much. To be quite honest with you, our producers are on their knees financially. We do need divine intervention, government intervention, whatever you might call it, but we do need assistance. I do believe last week there was a press release to say that there are going to be more stringent movements, but by and large it hasn't happened. We as KZN RPO, we have supplied personnel to run the permit office, qualified personnel, a retired state vet, as well as 4 ladies who assist in the office, to assist in the permit office. And I'll be honest with you, the veterinary department have said without our personnel there, the permit office would not be able to operate. So if you move within, through, or out of the DMA, you need a permit. And so we've made personnel available at our cost, and so that has assisted the cause at large, but it's a continual challenge with regards to foot and mouth. We really need assistance, and we've been asking for it for a while. But it would be nice to see some roadblocks, people being stopped for moving illegal livestock. Livestock at the moment is moved wherever. I even in a meeting with the minister, I did say to him, I said I could drive to Shishui and Newcastle, wherever, where they're positive animals, and load 2 on a trailer behind my back, and I'll drive from here to Muizenberg Beach and deliver them there. And I can assure you, no one's going to stop me or know the ramifications or the charges that go with it. So there's a serious problem. So all we're asking for is the movement of livestock to be curtailed within the DMA, around the DMA, and that's in going to make a huge difference to the spread of foot and mouth.
Well, absolutely.
And the vets know.
And it sounds
it's the
like
movement of livestock that spreads it.
Yeah, it sounds like it's not just an agriculture issue, but when you talk about the movement of livestock, if people are moving livestock on the back of a vehicle of any kind, traffic police need to get involved. It will be a whole range of government entities that need to know that this is an issue. Angus Williamson, thank you for your time this afternoon.